What's going on, y'all? What it is. So before we get started, I would just like to say happy Halloween for those of you who celebrate this day. If you have kids that are trick-or-treating this evening and things of that nature, make sure that they're getting their candy from somebody you trust, and always take it to the hospital to get it x-rayed, or just buy the candy yourself to be on the safer side of things. So be safe out there and make sure that your kids are safe. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and slide on these topics, and we have a lot to talk about. Let's start off with some comedy first. Toni is on TikTok promoting her business plan, right? And so it's extremely funny because, listen, I know you have to start somewhere when you invest into a new business and things like that, and you're trying to get it up and running. But I'm telling you, this commercial that she did was hilarious. The comments are crazy and off the charts. Also, say it ain't so, 45 and Tamron Hall hunched. Yep, that's what they're saying, that Tamron Hall and 45 had an affair. And get this, Tamron Hall was pregnant by 45 at one point in time. I guess they tried to sweep that under the rug, but somebody is spilling the beans now. Now, I would like to add that this information has not been confirmed or denied yet, so this is alleged information. Now, also, we have Megan Thee Stallion suing this blogger that's been getting under her skin for quite some time because this blogger is supporting Tory Lanez and things of that nature. So she's been talking ill about Megan on Twitter and on YouTube. So Megan just finally had enough and sent her lawyers after this blogger. But I think what tipped the scales for Megan to actually go after this content creator was based off the fact that this particular person was sharing a screenshot or a video, and it was altered to make it look like Meg was participating in Torn, and I'm paraphrasing there. And last but not least, there's heavy speculation that Diddy was flying across the pond getting rid of evidence before he ultimately and allegedly got locked up. So what I want to do right here is go ahead and play you some clips that pertains to everything that I just discussed, and then I'll be back.
Hi guys, this is Toni, and this here is my enterprise. Well, what I have here is a lot of businesses under one roof. At this present time, I'm seeking employees, someone that can press t-shirts, do tattoos, beautiful nails, lashes, and makeup. Also, here you can have a kickback, a party, a wedding reception, even a repast. Do a birthday party, anything you want to do, even a divorce party. You can come out here and do a pop-up shop. Yes, you can wash cars. You can do whatever you need to make you some money. That's why I'm here. So let me tell you what's here at the Toni Enterprises. We have a virtual office, a podcast. We have a massage area for massages, which has a chair as well as the bed itself, with an accompanying shower. You can actually take a shower before or after with the purchase of some of my products, which are natural soaps, such as goat's milk, oatmeal, eucalyptic, great soaps that makes your skin feel good. So make sure you come through. Again, it's available. It's open, and I am waiting to get you in here to work. Do you do nails? How about give a tattoo? I also have a studio in here, a music studio. Also, a photography booth. Studio. It's all the things that you want. We even have snacks and beverages. So make sure you come through to Toni's Enterprises today.
All right, begin.
Tamron Hall, pick up the phone, girl. Where are you? You need to clear this up because they out here lying. They talking about you had an affair with Trump and then got pregnant and he had you doing a... Tell them they're lying. Please. They're lying, right? Tamron, they are lying. There is this god-awful rumor that Donald Trump had an affair with Tamron Hall and paid for her abortion. Now, this sounds insane. It sounds crazy. I wouldn't even believed it until I read this. This is a Substack called Interesting Mysteries. It's written by J.K. Trotter, who is a former journalist. And he published an article called The Rumor. What happened between Donald Trump and Tamron Hall and NBC? Y'all, when I tell you there's a comprehensive timeline, a very compelling timeline, a timeline where I can't even say it's not true. I need Tamron Hall to bring her to the front of the class and tell us this is a bunch of BS. Please. The article explains the rumor by saying, the rumor went like this. In the latter half of 2015, NBC journalists unearthed evidence that Hall and Trump conducted an affair in the years before he declared his candidacy. Some of the evidence indicated that Hall became pregnant by Trump and later obtained an abortion. The whispers appeared to be leaking out of 30 Rockefeller Plaza because NBC officials were unsure of how to address the situation. Oh, God. The article goes on to talk about how nobody could really report on it because these are two high-profile people and you had to be absolutely sure. So there were never any articles produced or anything that came up. However, as the article outlines here, there was in fact some truth to it. According to people familiar with the matter, NBC journalists did indeed investigate Hall and Trump's relationship in the fall of 2015 and found evidence that supported the existence of an affair that led to Hall's pregnancy and subsequent abortion. They had gathered this material as part of a larger reporting project about Trump's past girlfriends. The evidence was compelling enough to continue investigating as Trump's campaign gained steam. My God, I can't. However, nothing came of the reporting project. NBC never published a story about Trump's ex-girlfriends or his relationship with Hall. And less than 2 weeks after Trump's inauguration, Hall abruptly left the network. These events created a mystery that has never been solved. What exactly happened between Trump, Hall, and NBC? Dear God, what is happening? This is a nightmare. I'm gonna be sick. I can't believe it. I'm not gonna believe it. Tamron, girl, I don't believe it. But you need to come and tell these people the truth. You need to tell them it's not true. I need you to tell them it's not true. It's not true. On this cookbook, it is not true.
This is crazy, but this is the world we're living in. Tamron Hall, Donald Trump. The rumors are that in 2015, these two had an affair. That affair led to a pregnancy, which led to an abortion. Of course, in 2015, she was single and he had his situation. If this is true, and it turns out to be true, does turn out to be true, she will face a huge hit in her career. Nothing will happen to this man. He will not lose a supporter. He will not lose a vote. They already know he's a cheater. They don't care. So if it ends up being true, nothing will happen to him.
When are you bloggers gonna learn that spreading false and defamatory lies is going to get you sued? And the only reason why I'm laughing is because this never had to go this far. Well, if you guys didn't know, Megan Thee Stallion is suing this blogger by the name of Milagro for fake information in regards to her Tory Lane case. Now, according to TMZ, Megan Thee Stallion is suing this content creator for allegedly promoting falsehoods about her claiming she is posting lies about Tory Lane's case and spreading deep fake corn. The rapper filed a lawsuit against Milagro Elizabeth Cooper, I guess that's her name, and she has nearly 30,000 followers on Twitter. Allegedly, she routinely posts lies about Megan Thee Stallion while working as a mouthpiece for Tory Lanez to promote false narrative about her pew-pewing incident. Among the untrue content Milagro has posted, according to Meg, is totally artificial videos that Megan Thee Stallion's lawyer claims show the star engaging in, you know what I mean. They also say that the video has caused Megan severe emotional distress and reputational harm. Now, Megan's lawyers are also saying that that blogger Milagro also claimed that Megan has a severe drinking status, and she's also questioned Megan's mental competency and called her an angry black woman. Now, the lawsuit goes a little bit deeper into their claims against Milagro. They stated that she had also promoted false claims about evidence in the case, including saying that the pew-pew, the one that was used to inflict harm on Megan at the night of the incident, had gone missing, which again is not true. Now, the lawsuit also includes post from Milagro's alleged live Twitter from Tory Lanez's trial, falsely claiming that Megan's friend Kelsey Harris admitted that she lied to prosecutors when she told them that she saw Lanez pull the pew-pew on Meg. Now, within that entire lawsuit, Megan is also suing to get Milagro to stop cyber stalking her. Now, that's also a crazy claim. More than anything, Megan just sounds fed up with the blogging world, and she tells TMZ it's time to hold bloggers accountable for years of harassment, cyberbullying, and the publication of misinformation about my personal and professional life. She goes on to tell TMZ, Megan Thee Stallion, that I endured countless attacks on my character based on false narratives from social media bloggers misrepresenting themselves as journalists. Misrepresenting themselves as journalists. I'm repeating it 3 times just to make sure some of y'all get it through your head. Megan also adds that it's unacceptable behavior that these individuals need to understand. There still will be repercussions for reckless posting lies and defamatory falsehoods. Now, TMZ did state that they reached out to Milagro, but they haven't heard back from her. But she's definitely on Twitter, because just an hour ago, she had replied this on X and said, countersuit gon' go crazy. Countersuit for what, Milagro? You don't have any money, and you don't really have any claims that any of the things that you've been saying are true. And if you guys didn't know, when Tory Lanez was on trial, we actually tracked and followed that entire case from day one all the way to his conviction. So we'll be doing the same with this. And if you wanted to follow it on your own, the case number is 1, and then there's a semicolon, 24CV 24288 CMA. This was filed in the Southern District of Florida, and you can actually find that case on pacer.gov. And shout out to Megan Thee Stallion, because this is also a testament for some of you bloggers on here who get on here and you report false information. I'm just very proud that more celebrities are suing you guys, because the way that you guys weaponize your ignorance and calling it journalism needs to be clocked every single day. And another FYI, you guys are not journalists. You're just adults who own cell phones. But don't worry, I went ahead and pulled the lawsuit between Megan Thee Stallion and Milagro. And from my opinion, it doesn't look very good for Milagro. Okay, you guys, the document is 26 pages. We're not going to go through all of them. I really just want to get into the evidence that was submitted. And the reason as to why I wanted to look up the case anyway, because 1, it's interesting, but 2, from this tweet from Armand Wiggins. He said, if I'm being honest though, it's going to be interesting because I don't know if I feel like this is a strong case. I don't know. Almost feels like Cardi B's case against Tasha K was a no-brainer, but it feels like Milagro is being sued for being the loudest opposing opinion. I don't know. We shall see. We shall see indeed. Now, again, this is filed in the Southern District of Florida, and in Section 2 of this lawsuit, Megan and her attorney stated that the lengths at which the defendant, Milagro, goes to harass Mrs. Pete, which is Megan Thee Stallion, knows no bounds. For example, she has gone so far as to share deep fake videos of Miss Pete, and in June of 2024, defendant Cooper Milagro encouraged her 27,000 followers on Twitter, posted by Bimbella, that shared a doctored artificial video of Mrs. Pete reportedly engaging in acts without Mrs. Pete's knowledge or consent. In line item 3, this is where they accused Milagro of accusing Megan of having a drinking problem. Line item 4 is where it gets a little bit more insidious. Milagro had accused Megan of having a mental status and said, and I quote, to her followers, has Mrs. Pete, Megan Thee Stallion, a guardian or not? Like basically questioning whether Megan has a guardian. And then she goes on to say, was she ever deemed as legally retarded? I'm just reading back the quotes from the record. Now, in line item 7, Megan Thee Stallion actually tried to stop her from posting all of these things because, again, it was affecting her mental health. She even reached out to say, what would it take for you to stop posting these things about me? The defendant replied back to Megan Thee Stallion and said, just get over it and it'll go away. Now let's get into some of the evidence that was submitted in. So these are tweets from Milagro's page, and it goes all the way back to 2022. And one tweet, Milagro says, talking about credible when we all sitting in here, and then says to Megan, basically, shut the F up. She goes on to say Kelsey spoke to prosecutors and told them one thing, but today she lied. In this tweet seen here, Milagro says, all this case taught anyone was that your father, your brother, your cousin, or your son could face 20 years in prison without proper evidence, a botched investigation, and another likely suspect just because non-credible witnesses said you did something, and y'all slow asses are cheering. They even post snippets of Milagro's YouTube where she has images of Megan Thee Stallion and says, is she a professional victim? And in a deleted tweet where Milagro was sharing those deep fake videos of explicit stuff that Megan Thee Stallion did not engage in, she was actually telling her followers, go to my likes, basically encouraging them to go to her likes before X had disabled likes, to go to her likes, see the video that she had reposted, and basically engage in it. But then she deleted the tweet. And over on Twitter, she again had stated that the firearm that was used in the Megan Thee Stallion case had disappeared, when in actuality it hadn't. It's still in the police evidence room. And then to kind of keep the fervor up, she continues to post about the trial and the pew-pewing of Megan Thee Stallion. And then she writes in this caption, every time they lie, I'm gonna make y'all cry. And in another tweet, she's saying, alleging that Megan Thee Stallion paid Kelsey's rent, her ex-best friend. And then here she writes some very inaudible, grammatically poor statement, which says Sean Hawley wasn't representing Tory when Kelsey said, Tory said, my lawyer said to word things a particular way, just like he was never on probation. Those are very slow. We even have screenshots of her quote tweeting Nicki Minaj. Now, Nicki Minaj says in a statement, God bless this woman. In all seriousness, this woman was tormented on the internet relentlessly while pregnant with her first child by her best friend, who could easily told people to stop. The girls lion lipo, referring to Megan Thee Stallion, best friend's man, basically sleeping with him. Milagro quote tweets it and says, child, F Kelsey too, but Megan was dead wrong. Now, after reading parts of this lawsuit, this is Milagro. She sounds unhinged. I'm not even going to lie to you. Most of the stuff that she was posting on Twitter and YouTube sounds incredibly unhinged. She had this infantilization of humbling Megan Thee Stallion by any means necessary. But the more this case progresses, I'm going to keep you guys posted. I think this is going to be a very interesting story to follow.
Diddy allegedly used his private jet to get rid of evidence. Jaguar Wright just recently sat down and did an interview talking about how Diddy's private plane movements during the raid need to be investigated. She said that she believed that Diddy's private plane had evidence on it because its weird movements right before and during the raids on Diddy's house, and Diddy was not present on this plane. And if you think back, this does make a lot of sense. A lot of people were wondering after these raids on Diddy's houses, where was Diddy? Because we heard his private plane was up in the air, and a lot of people felt like he was on this plane. But this was up until a couple hours later when Diddy was spotted pacing outside of Miami airport. And this is when the feds rolled up on him at this Miami airport, and he was actually getting ready to go on a trip on another private plane that was not his own private plane. And this is when they arrested his mule. So Diddy was getting ready to go on a different private jet when his private jet flew right past Florida and then went into the Caribbean, where it landed at Antigua and it stayed there overnight. And according to the flight activities that was tracked at the time, Diddy's private jet had been flying up and down California between Sunday and Monday is when the raids happened. His private jet took off from Sacramento Sunday evening around 5:30 p.m. and then landed at Palm Springs Airport about an hour later. And then an hour after arriving at Palm Springs, it took off again and it landed at an LA airport. And just remember, Diddy's houses in LA and Miami were both getting raided during these raids, and Diddy was in Miami, so he wasn't on this private plane. So what was it doing? And then at 9 a.m. on Monday, the day that Diddy's houses were raided, it took off from an LA airport and it went all the way to Antigua, totally flying past Florida while Diddy's houses were getting raided. Then he was saw at a Miami airport boarding another jet that wasn't his. So what was this jet doing? To me, it sounds like Diddy allegedly had somebody fill this jet while it was in LA up with evidence from his LA home. The feds need to go question the pilot that day of Diddy's private jet because some things are not adding up, baby. Do you guys think that Diddy was using his private jet to get rid of evidence? You guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
All right, so you guys just heard all of that. And as far as Tokyo Toni, I mean, I'm telling you, that was a key. I laughed so incredibly hard when I came across that video because, first of all, when she said eucalyptic, I think she meant to say eucalyptus. And it was just so crazy because she said it with so much confidence. And then you guys saw the comments. People were like, we're not going in that house. And they were clowning the house. And I'm sitting up there. I'm like, okay, you're making your little homemade commercial about your new business. And you got 2 coolers sitting on the front porch along with 2 withering plants that seems like they're thirsty as hell. They look dry. They leaning and everything. So I think that she should have had her presentation thought out a little bit further before she came on camera to make that commercial. But at the end of the day, this is my thing, right? Let me stop calling it a commercial. It was just her promoting her new business, right? I hope the best for her because, you know, at the end of the day, she's trying, and most of the individuals that are clowning her don't even have the means to even start a business. But I will say that it's so funny to try to see her be such a professional when we know that she's ratchet as hell. Now, as far as Tamron Hall is concerned, listen, hey, I know you like vanilla. Ain't nothing wrong with it. If you like vanilla, that's your thing. It is what it is. But you're a pretty attractive woman. You could do better than 45. You actually laid down and let him lay on top of you, and you actually got pregnant by him allegedly. Then on top of that, I hope that Tamron made the choice to not go through with the ending result of her laying down with Trump. You guys know what I'm trying to say. I got to be careful here because they're censoring everything. I hope that it was ultimately her choice and not his choice over her body, because it's supposed to be her body, her choice, correct? And so when you look at that in its totality, it's really weird because the other side is promoting a ban on that, right? And they may promote a nationwide ban if he was to take office again. And so, but I guess it doesn't matter if it comes down to you possibly impregnating a black woman, right? Then all of that goes out the window. Go ahead and get it fixed. I don't want no parts of it, right? But I'll just sit back and see if either party responds to these accusations. It's going to be interesting to say the very least. Now, as far as Megan Thee Stallion is concerned, listen, this girl been playing on her top for quite some time. She felt the need to take it a bit further after she contacted this girl and said, yo, what would it take for you to stop talking about me in a derogatory manner? And the girl basically laughed in her face and told her to kiss it. So what do you do? What do you do? What do you do when you promote videos of Torn? And again, I'm paraphrasing there. That's supposed to be Megan Thee Stallion, but it's not. But somebody edited the video to make it look like Megan. I mean, it's embarrassing. And I can see how it could mess with Megan's mental health. But I will say this, okay? I will say this. I do feel like there's some evidence missing in this case. When you really look at it and you really analyze things, there's something that's not being said. And I'm just gonna leave it right there because I believe that this thing is about to play out and it's really gonna detail a whole lot of stuff that's been swept under the rug from the time this incident took place up until whenever this case get blown out, because Tory Lanez is definitely fighting behind jail to get his evidence vetted and possibly seek freedom. I'm not saying that he's not guilty and things of that nature, but I do feel like there's some type of evidence that's missing here. Now, as far as Diddy possibly getting rid of evidence before the feds raided his mansions, I've heard that. As a matter of fact, I'm working on some information now. I'm just waiting on more information to come through, but I've been hearing the same thing, that Diddy potentially got rid of evidence before his homes were even raided and things of that nature. He knew that they were coming. He was tipped off that they were coming. I'm telling you guys right now. So it's not above the realm of possibility. Now, does it mean that this is factual information? No, but at the end of the day, that's what I've been hearing too. So it's possible that that's the reason why they're holding on to Diddy, because they haven't got the information that they ultimately want. But anyway, I'm gonna draw the line here. I want you guys to drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about everything that was discussed during this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and if you're new here, consider subbing to the channel. I'll get with you guys later. Peace.